Loophole in the state's sober living home industry may be on its way to being solved. A new bill changes the definition of what a sober living home is. Good evening and thanks for joining us for 12 News at 5. I'm Mark Curtis. 12 News journalist William Pitts talked to the bill's sponsor about the legislation and its effects.
It's been a glaring loophole at the Department of Health Services. State law does not prohibit unlicensed facilities from using the title sober living home. If you're not licensed, you can still call yourself a sober living home. Does your bill address that at all?
It says they must be licensed. They must be licensed. And it's for DHS to turn around and license those facilities.
It's been newsworthy what's been happening with the sober living homes.
Senator Frank Carroll introduced a bill that changes the definition of a sober living home. In turn, that changes whether DHS can license it. The new definition, a place where two or more unrelated people live together in a recovery program. During the first committee hearing, Carroll had representatives from Surprise and Goodyear testifying about what they'd seen.
There's no one around, and if there is, there's only one person who's not supposed to, who is clearly not a behavioral specialist or any type of specialist. She's just there to comply with calling us in case something bad happens.
Kids were going to the neighborhood parks finding alcohol bottles, drug paraphernalia, people passed out. We had minors that were victimized in neighborhood parks by indecent exposure incidents.
You would think that that kind of thing wouldn't happen in something called a sober living home.
I would hope not. I would hope not. I mean, I put stock in a title and a name when you say sober living home, okay, and we understand the purpose for it, and we understand today's climate with drugs and alcohol that people need help, and they're reaching out for help. But to take advantage of them like that for profit, that's just plain wrong.
During the last hearing, DHS said it was neutral on the bill, but had a laundry list of problems with it.
Defining a sober living home to include housing for two or more unrelated individuals in recovery may be overly broad and very likely violates federal anti-discrimination laws. If ADHS were to implement this legislation, we anticipate legal challenges for violating these federal anti-discrimination laws.
DHS seemed to push back a little bit in the hearing.
The agency serves that purpose. Sometimes they need a little encouragement, and that's what this bill does.
Senate Bill 1361 is currently making its way through the legislature. William Pitts, 12.